morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Veterans Day ceremony. My name is Christine Manson, and I serve as director of the Dr. Peter Thomas Veteran Services Center at Hodges University. I will be the narrator for today's ceremony. Today, we recognize our Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard veterans who have sacrificed, both in war and in peace, to protect America and the American way of life. We are here to honor our brave men and women who have proudly served this great nation, for they are the fabric from which our flag has been woven. Please stand as Boy Scout Troop 2001, chartered by the North Naples Fire District, posts the colors and leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Color Guard, attention. Audience, please, thank you for being here today. We will be posting the colors. Color Guard, forward march. Color Guard, halt. Color Guard, cross the colors. Color Guard, post the colors. Put your right hand over your heart. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Color Guard, return the ranks.
Mr. Hector Rojas, an Army veteran and student at Hodges University, will join us and sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Mr. Rojas. Mr. Ken Worthy, retired Army veteran and chaplain of the John Ebling Memorial at Hodges University, American Legion Post 397, will come forward for the invocation.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please bow your heads. God, we have a day off from school and work. There are parades, memorial commemorations, and TV news specials. So much business surrounding Veterans Day. Please help it be more than another day on the calendar. Now, as we enjoy the holiday, help us remember those who made it possible. The men and women in uniform who served life, liberty, and happiness, which comes with a price. On Veterans Day, help us remember those who paid for the freedom with their life and those who came back to live it. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Worthy. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is an honor to have each of you here today. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the individuals viewing the ceremony from the Veterans Services Center on the Fort Myers campus. This includes President of Hodges University, Dr. David Borofsky. I would also like to take the time to extend gratitude to Earl and Thelma Hodges for all they have done to serve veterans. I am encouraged to have the support of so many community members that stand beside the Dr. Peter Thomas Veterans Services Center. We could not serve veterans at this capacity without the amazing contributions from people like John Fisher. Would each student, faculty, and staff member who has served or is serving stand and be recognized? Thank you. Would each guest who has served or is serving stand to be recognized? Each individual here today is a patriot, and it is an honor to be gathered together to pay tribute on this Veterans Day. It is with great respect and admiration that I introduce our guest speaker for today's ceremony, Dr. Ted Childress. Dr. Childress graduated from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina, in 1962. He served as an Army infantry officer until he suffered an injury that disqualified him from further service. After he took off his combat boots, he attended graduate school at Mississippi State University. He earned a master's degree in history in 1966. In 1974, he earned a PhD in history, also from Mississippi State University. Dr. Childress had a long and distinguished academic career at Jacksonville State University. Like many of us, much of his life was influenced by veterans. He graciously joins us today and will reflect on how his life was shaped by veterans. Please welcome Dr. Ted Childress.
General Cohen, Colonel Pear, veterans, guests, ladies and gentlemen. I was asked to comment on the influence of veterans in my life. It's been considerable. I was a child before World War II. We were taught to honor veterans during that war. As a child, I went to entertain veterans. We had a big Army hospital in Memphis, and I would go and sing and dance. And I was very good at it, I know, because my mother said so. Some 25 years later, when I was a patient in that same hospital, nobody came to sing or dance for me. America had changed by the 1960s. After World War II, my father, my uncles, the ones who survived, joined the 16 million American veterans, men and women who had served their country in that great war. They guided my life. Our minister had been a paratroop chaplain with 82nd and made 2 combat drops. The man who taught me equitation had been an old Buffalo soldier from the 10th Cavalry who had served in the Philippines in the Philippine insurrection in 1901. Men who were in charge of the Boy Scouts guided me to the rank of Eagle Scout, and they were all veterans. I was very influenced. I decided I wanted to be a soldier. So I applied and was accepted as a cadet at the Citadel. Practically everybody on that campus was some kind of veteran, from the 4-star general who was the president of the college to the master chief petty officer who was our mess steward. When I was commissioned, went on active duty, My senior non-commissioned officers were all veterans of at least 2 wars, some of them 3. The same was true for the generals and colonels, the field grade officers, general grade officers that I served under. When I went to graduate school, the 2 faculty advisors in the history department at Mississippi State had been infantrymen in the Southwest Pacific Theater, and they guided me through graduate school. When I sought academic employment, the university that hired me had as its president a former CB, the vice president for academic affairs, had been a first sergeant under Patton. The dean of men was an ordnance officer. Most of the department heads and deans, males, were veterans. In my department, half of my department, the faculty, were veterans. Many of my students over the years were veterans or became veterans. Today, thanks to Hodges' program of continuing education, I still give lectures around the Naples area at retirement communities where I'm able to meet more veterans. So I think you would agree that veterans have always been and will continue to be a significant influence on me in my life, but in a much larger sense. Our nation owes a debt of gratitude to all these veterans, the men and the women who have kept us free from the time of the American Revolution down through the present day, and will do so in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Childress. I will now invite General Mike Coyne and Colonel Chuck Pear to the stage. General Mike Coyne retired from the United States Marine Corps after 38 years of service. His career began in 1959 when he enlisted in the New York Air National Guard. He subsequently commissioned in the Marine Corps in 1962 and served on active duty for 3 years before serving in the reserve component. He was Commanding General of the 4th Marine Division and served as Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Reserve Affairs and Chief of Staff. He retired as a Major General in January of 1997. Colonel Charles Pear retired from the United States Air Force after 33 years of service. Pilot training was followed by the end of World War II and an assignment as the Management Analysis Officer. He later earned a second set of wings and had various assignments before graduating from the Air War College as a distinguished graduate in 1967. An assignment to South Vietnam was filled with accomplishments to include 2 distinguished flying crosses, 5 air medals, several other decorations and awards, along with approximately 1,000 flying hours. His final assignment was at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where he served as an executive assistant to the commander of the Air Force Logistics Command. He retired as a colonel in 1976. We look forward to honoring these 2 veterans with an American flag later in the ceremony. Hodges University goes to great lengths to ensure our veterans are taken care of as they transition from military to civilian life. We are honored to be able to serve 243 veteran students who are currently pursuing their educational goals at Hodges University. I would like to take this time to introduce to you one of these veteran students, Mauricio Rodriguez. Mauricio Rodriguez served in the Marine Corps. He had his mind set on joining his junior year of high school and entered in the delayed entry program. His military journey began 4 days after graduating high school. After boot camp, he went to SOI, School of Infantry. When he arrived at his first duty station, Camp Hornone, Camp Pendleton, he was told not to worry about unpacking since he was leaving for Kuwait in 2 weeks. He was in country when he got the 0300 wake-up call, relaying the news that President Bush had declared war on Iraq. This was the 19th day of March, 2003, and the 21-day battle to Baghdad commenced. Lance Corporal Rodriguez served 2 tours for this country before taking off his boots on June 6, 2006. Please welcome Mr. Rodriguez, Professor Pear, Colonel Pear's son, and Mr. Rojas as they come forward to pay tribute to the flag. Mr. Rodriguez will recite a poem entitled "The Flag," obtained from the Betsy Ross page of ushistory.org, while Professor Pear and Mr. Rojas fold the stars and the stripes.
Hello. Remember me? Some people call me Old Glory. Others call me the Star-Spangled Banner. But whatever they call me, I am your flag. The flag of the United States of America. Something has been bothering me, so I thought I might talk it over with you, because it is about you and me. I remember some time ago, people would line up on both sides of the street to watch the parade. And naturally, I was leading everyone, proudly waving in the breeze. When your daddy saw me coming, he immediately removed his hat and placed it on his left shoulder so that his hand was directly over his heart. You remember? And you, I remember, were standing there, straight as a soldier. You didn't have a hat, and you were given the right salute. Remember your little sister? Not to be outdone, she was saluting the same as you, with her right hand over her heart. Remember? What happened? I'm still the same old flag. Well, I've had a few more stars since you were a boy, and a lot more blood has been shed since those parades of long ago. But now, somehow I don't feel as proud as I used to feel. When I come down the street, you just stand there with your hands in your pocket. You give me a small glance, and then you look away. I see children running around you shouting. They don't seem to know who I am. I saw one man take off his hat, and then he looked around, and when he didn't see anyone else take his hat off, he quickly put his on again. Is it a sin to be a patriot today? Have you forgotten what I stand for or where I have been? Anzio, Guadalcanal, Korea, and Vietnam. Take a look at the memorial honor rolls and see the names of those patriotic Americans who gave their lives to keep the Republic free. When you salute me, you're actually saluting them. So when you see me, please stand straight and place your hand over your heart, and I'll know that you remembered. I'll salute you by waving back.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Thank you, Professor Pear and Mr. Rojas. We are grateful each of you are here today, as we have not forgotten what the flag stands for and where it has been. As a token of appreciation for their service to this great country, General Coyne and Colonel Pear will be presented with an American flag. These flags were flown over the United States Capitol at the request of Honorable Curt Clawson, Member of Congress. General Coyne, I invite you to make comments on behalf of yourself and Colonel Pear.
Thank you, Christine. I'm sure I speak for Colonel Pear, certainly for myself, that we're very honored to receive the recognition and the U.S. flag. And I want to say for myself, and I think Colonel Pear might join in his remarks, that I'm particularly honored to receive it from the warriors of this generation. Colonel Pear and Colonel Pear is of the greatest generation, and I think that honor is well deserved. They're the one generation that got to fight their wars so they could win. I come from the generation, and Dr. Childress comes from the generation where we fought Korea and Vietnam without the equal opportunity to win. But the reason that I'm honored is that I feel that this generation is truly deserving of the right to be called the greatest generation. We served with an inducement provided by our government. It was called the draft. We now have an all-volunteer force, and these young warriors have gone to the defense of our country, gone to the call of our country to serve. They had the absolute right not to volunteer, and they all volunteered. So I'm very proud of them. I'm grateful for the recognition. Thank you, warriors.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of Taps by Skip Pardee, District Coordinator of Fine Arts for the Collier County School District, and remain standing as the Boy Scouts from 2001 retire the colors.
Color guard, attention. Color guard, forward march. Color guard, halt. Color guard, retrieve the colors. Color guard, return to ranks. Place your hand over your heart. Two. Color guard dismissed. You may be seated.
Thank you. This concludes today's ceremony. Before you go, I would like to invite you to two events taking place later today. The Francis Pugh Hayes Center for Lifelong Learning is hosting a presentation by Dr. Debbie Lutz of the Collier County Honor Flight. It begins at 12:30 right here in the John White Community Room, and will last 1 hour. It will be followed by a lecture from Dr. Ted Childress entitled World War II, the American Homefront. Dr. Childress's presentation is from 1:45 until 3 o'clock. Both events are free and open to the public. Thank you again for taking the time out of your schedule to pay tribute to America's veterans. Enjoy your day.